Hey guys, welcome back to AKFPL. This is the Game Week 32 preview. First, we're going to look at how my team did in Game Week 31 and then look ahead to Game Week 32. So in Game Week 31, I scored 53 points. I did one free transfer, which was bringing in Rudiger for Dallas. And it wasn't the best game week. I dropped from about 4.1k to 4.7k. And looking at it in context, it wasn't too bad because I had a few injuries this week and a few of my players got rotated. So actually just looking at the scores in general, only 9 of my players actually returned points for me. So to get a small rank drop despite that is actually not too bad. So let's analyze the team performance. At the back I had Mendy and Rudiger. They lost their clean sheet as Chelsea pretty much stormed that game against Crystal Palace when they went up 3-0 just before half-time. And I think whenever a team does that, there's always a risk of them getting a bit complacent and switching off at the back. Whereas when a team's up by maybe 1-0 or 2-0, they tend to play a bit more caution, with a bit more caution. They tend to protect the lead a bit more. So I knew as soon as Chelsea went 2-0 up after the first, 10 or 15 minutes, there was always going to be a risk of them just sort of switching off. So it's really frustrating because that double clean sheet would have been a really good differential for my team this week, as the teams around me generally don't have 2 Chelsea defenders. Maybe they have 1. So that wasn't a great start. And then at the back, I had Cresswell, who got a yellow card, and then he came off injured before 60 minutes, so he returned 0 points. So that didn't matter too much because even if he kept playing on, West Ham conceded 2 goals anyway, so he would have scored 0 anyway. But it now means I've got an injured player in my side, which I need to deal with for next week. And then I had Diaz playing, but he got rotated in this game, which I know can happen to a lot of City players, but I thought Diaz was generally one of the more rotation-proof players for the City team. So City then lost to Leeds, so I'm hoping Pep's going to look at that and think that his backline is very, very suspect without Diaz. So I'm hoping it's not going to happen again until the end of the season. It could still happen, but I'm hoping that's the sort of reality slap that Pep needs to know that if he doesn't play his best backline, then his team generally aren't going to do very well. So Target came on for Diaz. Made no difference anyway because Target also got 0 points. So he picked up a yellow card and conceded 2. So super frustrating in terms of defense. Not one single return there. I did take out Dallas this week and he scored a brace against Man City, which I don't think anyone could have predicted. But even if I didn't make the Rudiger move for Dallas, I still don't think I would have played him in this game. And even if I had him on my bench, he probably wouldn't have come on anyway. So can't really be kicking myself about that one too much. In midfield, I had Lingard, who again is turning out to be one of my best transfers this season. 14 points, 3rd double-digit return in a row. And he's an easy keeper for me until the end of the season. I think a lot of people have already picked him up on their wildcard. So really good choice, really good budget option. Salah, I think pretty much a lot of people captained around me. He scored a goal, which was pretty good, but didn't really benefit my rank too much. Fernandes got a blank, but as I said in the last video, I didn't really expect much from this game in terms of returns from Man U and Spurs players. Son, he did get a goal, which was good because going into the game, he was only about 50% effective ownership for my rank. So for him to score and then Kane to get a blank was actually pretty good for me. So that did help my rank. Rafinha came on for Calvert-Lewin, who picked up an injury sort of after the deadline for the game week. And so I couldn't really do anything about that. And he blanked anyway, so not really great for me. But it was really frustrating to see DCL not feature in the game because it was the last game week of it was last fixture of the game week, and he was actually a pretty good differential for me if he played, and I was really hoping that Calvert-Lewin's going to start and at least get something for me. So that was a bit frustrating. And then Kane, I needed him to blank because his effective ownership on my rank was well over 100%. And then Watkins scores 8 points, which was really helpful for me because, again, not a lot of people around me have him. So 8 points was a very welcomed return. Then on my bench, nothing really there. Dan Burn, I think he's sort of regaining fitness. He came on in the last few minutes of the Brighton game. So yeah, small red arrow for me this week, but still in the top 5k. got a few injuries to deal with, so let's move on to game week 32 and have a look at my plans. So this is how my team looks like for game week 32. I've got one free transfer and 0.3 million in the bank. So at the back, I've been playing Mendy and Rudiger. They're up against Brighton, and I'm hoping both of them are going to be playing because I really think there's a good chance of a clean sheet for them. I've got Diaz again. He's had his rest, and I think he's going to play against Villa because I think City will look to be bouncing back in the league. They can't really afford to lose another game because I think they'll then get a lot of pressure and they'll probably start losing their lead to Man United. So I think Pep's going to put out a strong league performance in this game, so I think Diaz will play. I've then got Cresswell, who's injured, so doesn't look like he's going to be playing. I think he picked up a hamstring injury, so I'll probably need to transfer him out this week. In midfield, I've got Rafinha. He's a minor doubt, but Bielsa didn't really play his injury up too much. He came off towards the end of the game, but hopefully we're going to hear more about that in the press conference and he's going to be fit to play. I'm happy to play him against Liverpool. I think, apart from the Man City game, I'm pretty much happy to play Rafinha against anyone, really. And then I've got Salah, who's playing against Leeds. Happy to see him get his goal in the last game. And I'm expecting to see the Leeds-Liverpool game to have a few goals. Both teams are going to be going for it end-to-end, so that should be a good game to watch. I've got Lingard and Fernandes, who both got good fixtures. Lingard against Newcastle, who are doing really badly at the moment. And Fernandes against Burnley, again conceding a lot of goals. And then I've got Kane and Son. As we know, it's a double game week for this week for Spurs. So I think pretty much everyone's going to have Kane and Son. Some people might even have 3 Spurs players. They might have Reguilon or even Bale or Lucas Moura. But I'm happy just to have Kane and Son for this week. And then up front, I've got Calvert-Lewin. He's currently injured. So the plan was to always take him out this week anyway. But I'll talk on that next in the transfer section. On my bench, I've got my Villa players. I think I could play Watkins, but I think, like I said, City are going to want to bounce back after that loss against Leeds, so I'm expecting a strong performance from them. So currently got my Villa players benched. I'm benching Dan Burn because he's playing away to Chelsea. So let's move on to my transfers and have a look at what my plans are. So this is how my squad looks like currently. I've got only one free transfer for this week, but I'll probably need to take a hit. So let me tell you what I'm going to be doing. So my first move, which is pretty much certain, is going to be Calvert-Lewin out for Iheanacho. Now, I was sort of playing with the idea of bringing Iheanacho in last week because a lot of wildcarders jumped on him earlier and I thought it was a really good move, but I didn't think it was worth it given that Calvert-Lewin had Brighton away. In the end, Calvert-Lewin didn't even play, so it was actually a really bad move in hindsight, but you can never predict an injury when it happens after the game week deadline. But I think Iheanacho is doing really well as Leicester's main goal scorer at the moment, posting really good goal scoring numbers. And the 4 fixtures he's got coming up are absolutely mandatory to be getting him in at this stage. So Iheanacho is definitely going to be coming in for me. He's only 6 million, really good option, really good value. And now I've got 1.8 million in the bank. So I think my second move is going to be to getting Cresswell out. And I've got 7.7 million, which is enough for me to get Alexander-Arnold. So Alexander-Arnold, again, has been doing really well in the last few game weeks. Attacking numbers have been excellent. And his fixtures up until the end of the season are outstanding. So really good time to get him in. I mean, I was going to make this move anyway in game week 33 when Liverpool were playing Newcastle. But I think I might as well just bring that move forward 1 week since Cresswell is injured. So the other option would be to go for someone with a double game week like Reguilon. But I just don't think Spurs have the defensive form lately. Maybe they keep a clean sheet against Southampton, but can't really expect one against Everton. And then they've got a blank, so then I have to take him out the week after. So for a -4, yeah, it could pay off this week, but it's just, banking a transfer in for the following game week anyway. So probably not going to go for Reguilon. Then the other defensive transfer I was considering was bringing in a Wolves defender. They've got Sheffield and Burnley in the next 2. But if I bring in the likes of Cody or even Saiss, I mean, the ceiling for them are generally going to be 6 points maybe, whereas the ceiling for Alexander-Arnold, we're looking at double-digit returns. So that's the reason I'm going to be bringing in Trent this week. Even though he's playing against Leeds, I think there's always chances that he can get an attacking return even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing. So let's just move on to captaincy now. And it's a double game week, so obviously a lot of people are going to be going for either Kane or Son. I'm personally going with Kane because he's on penalties, he's on free kicks. Son is on corners sometimes as well, so he could be a good option if you're chasing, but I think effective ownership for Kane is going to be massive. A lot of people are even going to be using their triple captaincy chip on him. So I think it's really dangerous to be going away from Kane. Not much else options other than Spurs players, because the only other options are single game week players like Fernandes and Salah. But I'm probably not going to be going there. I think Kane's going to be playing both games, and Spurs have got nothing else to play for apart from the League Cup final. So maybe against Southampton, they could rest a few players in that game, which is a bit of a worry, but I think Kane's fitness is just so good. And Mourinho has even said in the past that he wants Kane to be playing every game, so he's the one I'm going to be captaining. So that's where I'm probably going to leave it there, guys. In summary, my plans are to bring in Iheanacho and Trent Alexander-Arnold for Calvert-Lewin and Cresswell. That's going to cost me a -4 unless I hear something in the press conferences which says that Cresswell is fit to play. But I really doubt it. It was a hamstring injury. I think he's going to miss this game. My captaincy is going to be on Kane. Looking at the fixtures for this week, it's looking like it could be a really high-scoring week for a lot of people, because a lot of the stronger teams are generally playing the weaker teams this week. So let's hope we can all get a good game week. I'm hoping to bounce back with a green arrow, hopefully getting back into the top 3K. Target for the season is still to get near the top 1K, but it's looking increasingly difficult as the weeks go on. But let's hope for the best. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Let me know if you need any help with your team. Please like the video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video.